incentive can be defined as a monetary or non-monetary reward offered to employees for contributing more efficiently. An incentive can be extra payment or something more than a regular salary. When we are talking about economics, the definition becomes a bit narrower. Economic incentives are financial motivational for people to take certain actions. Incentives are rewards and punishment that motivates behavior. One is the example of carrot and stick. You all must be thinking, तो मैं क्या करूँ? So, incentives matters because of the following. First one is increase in performance and productivity. Second, to boost morale. Third, job satisfaction. Fourth, motivation for achieving goals. And the last one is field values. Types of incentives. First, tax incentives. Second, financial incentives. Third, subsidies. Fourth, tax rebates. And the last, negative incentives. The demand curve is a graphical representation of the relationship between the price of a good or service and the quantity demanded for a given period of time. In a typical representation, the price will appear on the left vertical axis, the quantity demanded on the horizontal axis. Incentives will affect the market in two ways. First, sellers, like an increase in the price will cause increase in the number of suppliers. Second, buyers, decrease in price will cause an increase in amount demanded.
Now, let me discuss about a real-life example of the principle. If cost of butter increases, it creates an incentive to buy less butter. So, people would either use it sparingly or they will switch to substitutes such as curd, jam, etc. Even for the people who are daily users of butter, they will also cut down on its usage. So, talking about the drawbacks of the principle, it generally creates a conflict within the working environment. People who don't receive incentives, they are going to be jealous of those who receive them. Because one worker is receiving an incentive, the attitude is that everyone should also receive them. This in turn upsets the workers who really work hard, and they, as a result of this, stop working hard, and this limits the productivity. Now moving to the next drawback, the focus of work becomes competitive instead of being focused on quality. Workers who are striving for incentives, they are only going to provide a high enough quality of work to beat the other workers who want the same incentives. People will typically work to the expectation levels that are set for them. And if those levels aren't set consistently high, then the standards that are produced aren't going to be consistently high either. Now, moving to the third drawback, incentives can become really costly. Incentives must continue to rise on a scale of cost in order to be effective. So eventually a thank you note from the supervisor isn't enough. A piece of candy might be wanted, then an extra vacation day, then a vacation day with a raise. Now moving to the last drawback, it eliminates productivity from low-level performers. So incentives will typically go to the ones who are the top performers. But there are also certain workers who are really consistent performers. When that consistency isn't rewarded, these consistent workers lose confidence in themselves, grow frustrated, and eventually they just quit because they feel they are underappreciated. So how can businesses leverage this principle? The incentives industry is valued at over $100 billion, out of which $46 billion is attributable to non-cash incentives. Businesses can benefit by implementing various measures such as recognition and rewards, referral programs, professional development, profit sharing, social recognition, reimbursements, and etc.